So while things seem to be getting worse for Xbox, they're talking like things are going to be reworked and going to get better. Apparently, insiders are talking about this is actually going to be a bloodbath when it comes to layoffs and firings and such. Studios closing down. Says over here, there are other Xbox studios in trouble. Ominous reports as Microsoft Bloodbath looms. We've all read the rumors regarding Xbox's incoming exodus, but things sound worse than initially imagined behind the scenes. In a revelatory recap video, Bloomberg journalist Jason Schreier says that there are more studios than just Ninja Theory, Double Fine, and Compulsion Games in trouble. All three developers who've made multiple PS5 games in the past are in negotiations to save their futures. But according to the reporter, several are on the chopping block, while the entire organization will be rocked by significant layoffs at large. The negotiations with the affected parties include the possibility of spinning off studios as independent entities for finding new buyers. But according to Schreier, a bloodbath is coming over the next 2 weeks. So I guess we're going to have to pay attention to that. This article was written, Wednesday? Quote, what's happening is going to be pretty bad. The word I've heard is bloodbath among people I've talked to who know what's happening. It's going to be bad. Those studios I mentioned are just the beginning. There's going to be more. There are a lot of negotiations going on right now. Microsoft's financial year ends on June 30th, and we may not get the full picture of what's happening until then. Schreier's video, which I recommend watching in full above, digs deeply into many of the errors which have led Xbox to this point. Among them, a failure to significantly grow Game Pass while acquiring developers on a massive scale appears to have hit the organization hard. You know, with all the studios they were acquiring, I could have sworn they were going to be bringing out a bunch of crazy exclusives and everything, and then didn't even happen. And I think that's what a lot of people thought. It's amazing that they wasted all those studios like that. He points out that while the $69 billion buyout of Activision Blizzard was an eye-watering sum alone, it also meant the division added thousands of employees overnight. All at a time when Redmond was finding his head turned by AI, placing massive financial pressure on the division. Schreier uses the word mess a lot. And from the outside looking in, that certainly appears to be the case. With many of the developers under Xbox's umbrella making games for the PS5, this exodus is poised to hit PlayStation just as hard, with many projects in beloved studios likely to get axed. Good Lord. At the end of the day, I do not want Xbox to go away. I want Xbox to figure something out. Whether Microsoft keeps them or sells them, I want Microsoft to survive. Because like I've said before, if they don't, and Sony is the only game in town, they'll be trying to run roughshod on us and just charge anything and with no competition. You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of companies act with no competition, you know? Ask WWE what happened when WCW beat them for, 58 weeks or something like that? You know what I mean? Things changed up. New stars arose. They changed how they did business and they got better. You know, without proper competition, man, things will get stagnant. And I think that they will get anti-consumer. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Sony guy. I'm a PlayStation guy. I love my PS5 and I love my PS5 Pro. And, you know, but I just hope Xbox survives. We need something. You know, if they get bought, man, hell, Sega should buy them. Maybe Sega's got something left. Maybe Sega has got something left in them. The Genesis was great. So was the Saturn, man. I really loved my Saturn, especially because at the time, the PlayStation was more of a polygon powerhouse, while the Saturn was really great at 2D sprites. So all my fighting games I bought on the Saturn. And if I needed to, I bought the extra RAM cartridge. I was buying games from Japan that weren't releasing over here and everything. You had the key card cartridge. And you take that out and then put the game in. No. You put the disc in, loaded it, you put the key in. And there's a certain point you took it out and you had to put the RAM cartridge in. Because I had X-Men versus Street Fighter. And I had a few other things. I had Marvel Superheroes. And I had a few Darkstalkers games. And of course, I had some Street Fighter games and stuff. But anyway, they were good, man. I wish they probably just didn't market things as well as they should have. Like, because they became known for abandoning their things like the 32X. And they didn't stick with the Saturn as long as they should have. Then they got Dreamcast, and Dreamcast was the ish. And then they abandoned that. It's like, come on, Sega, what are you doing, man? Anyway, I would love to see a rebirth of Sega. I would love to see a rebirth of Sega. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Guess we're waiting for this tidal wave of blood coming to Xbox. Guess we'll be reporting on it in the next few days. 10 million subscribers.